Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Episode 66 of the weekly Roundup podcast. That's how it's
That
going.
it is.
Got some yard work done. Weather's gorgeous. Feels good.
I haven't gotten any yard work done. That's next weekend. I've been running around basically every weekend with stuff. So next weekend I do the cleanup and the prep and the spring garden stuff. So I did check it. It looks like a lot of my stuff is coming up again, which is nice because I moved a bunch of things. This is not a gardening podcast. Let's move on.
One other thing I'd like to get out of the way. Half of my gutter on the side of my house got ripped off the side last night during the heavy storms.
Oh, gross. Because of the wind?
Yeah, so I had to go out there in that nonsense and bungee cord it down. So that was fun.
Oh, rough. That is rough. Yeah.
But yes, this is a mainly Flesh and Blood, but also other card game podcast.
It is.
And this week, we're going to talk about how is Outsiders Limited. Flesh and Blood's new limited draft set is out.
Spoiler alert. It's freaking awesome.
It's really fun. Both sealed and draft. I do think draft is superior, but I think that is just how this game is built. It is very hard to build a sealed competitive environment just with how it works.
I don't think it really does work.
I think sets could be designed to work that way.
Well, my understanding is that Monarch works better in sealed than draft.
Right.
That's what I've heard. I have played sealed Monarch. I've never played draft Monarch.
But that doesn't mean
everyone hates it.
Right. And I am one of those people. But just because it is better sealed does not mean it is good sealed.
That is fair. Although the one time I did, I pulled what's Prism's special, the M tool weapon?
Luminaris?
Yeah, I pulled the Luminaris, so I was like, that's pretty good pull. It worked out nicely for me.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Right.
I've also
so I might be a little biased.
You just force Prism. So
yeah, well, especially when you get the Luminaris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Uprising, you force Phi.
Right
on. But this seems to be a little bit better. So we drafted once. I almost got to go to some of our locals were getting together last night to do a draft, and I was planning on going, but then was not feeling quite well, so decided to flake. But I wasn't feeling well, and it wasn't going to work out, and it was after my wonderful day of yesterday and the Facebook moderation. So probably for the best. And also with the storm and stuff, and the probably best I did. But next time I will go because I am going to be drafting this set every opportunity I can. Do you want to dive right in? Do we want to talk? Because we kind of talked sealed last week. So do we want to talk about our draft this week?
Sure. But is there other things we want to talk about? Anything
like
else?
House cleaning stuff? Like our TCG player store?
Yeah.
Or our Patreon?
Yeah.
Or our Discord?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. We're doing a lot of things, guys. Tommy Top Picks is growing up, becoming a real thing.
Heck yeah. We're halfway to 1,000. We're halfway to being able to monetize our videos.
Yeah, I don't really care about that part, but
you don't want those 34 cents. When I first made a YouTube channel, this was back when I was in college, and you didn't need 1,000 subscribers to start earning ad revenue. You could just do it. And so I signed up, I turned it on like my class project videos. And every month YouTube would send me a check for like 27, 34 cents.
Wow.
And I was just like, great, I guess. But I just find it funny. And that's probably honestly why they did it, because bookkeeping would be a nightmare if you're mailing for 27
from
cents.
What I understand, once you hit 1,000, you still only get like a couple pennies per video. Like you don't really pull in much more than what you're describing. So
right. No,
you got to get up into the hundreds of thousands before you're actually making any money.
Sure. Yeah. And it was slightly sarcastic and a joke, but another way of saying that we are over 500, and that means a lot to us. So if you are one of those 500, thank you. And thank you for not hitting that button again to unsubscribe. And if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. And then if you watch more of our videos and enjoy our content, you can talk with us about the things we talk about in the videos whenever you want in our Discord, because all you have to do to get into our Discord is sign up on the Patreon. There are spots for just $1. That gives you access to the Discord and a bunch of other cool things.
And by the way, shout out and thank you to our recent subscriber. We did get a new Patreon in the last week. So, yay. Thank you for joining us. I don't have your name handy. Maybe we should start doing a call out of all Patreon people as they join or something like that.
We definitely should do that.
That's a thing. That's a thing content creators do. Let me know in the comments. Hashtag use my name, John. Hashtag use my name.
We also like to throw out random hashtags. So if you feel like engaging with our nonsense, feel free to leave a comment.
I love the hashtags.
I do too, and they are usually leaning in my favor. So I enjoy it.
Is that how you interpret them? Because I'm not so sure.
Yeah, it helps. It helps to just interpret it that way.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Like all the things that we're talking about in our videos and stuff. We're just talking all week. There's constant discussions in the Discord of just gameplay, new card reveals, new decks, new
markets, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. What's going on with different cards,
spoilers.
Things being sold out. Yeah,
Light
spoilers. Strategies about different cards. Like, hey, how does this work? We have a couple judges that respond to judge questions. Yeah. Like, it's cool. It's a good time.
Light Dorinthia.
Yeah, Light Dorinthia. I don't know. I'm actually starting to think it's not just a crazy theory.
No, that's like an official ad. Yeah.
Yeah, but is that Dorinthia?
I think so. If you are in the Discord, you would know this, but you would have seen this yesterday when I posted about it. My theory is someone pointed out that her belt looks a lot like Kasai's belt.
So
that led me. So we have dual class heroes, right?
So dual.
What if we have dual heroes? Through the power of the light, Kasai and Dorinthia merge into
one like a transformer.
So this will allow you to use both Dorinthia and Kasai specializations.
No, nah.
Yes,
0.
It is totally fair. Just take Dorinthia now, but every time she hits, she also gains a copper, and then you have blood on her hands.
Yeah, no. This is a terrible theory. I hate it.
But instead of one Dawn Blade, you now have the power to dual wield Dawn Blades.
Only available in Blitz.
Fine. I just want it.
It sounds terrible.
It is.
I don't know, though. I don't think it's Dorinthia. I really don't.
You don't?
No. I just said that because it's funny and it's an ongoing joke. But look at her face. It doesn't look like Dorinthia.
Yeah, but so
it doesn't look like her. It doesn't look like her.
Neither does the a lot of the art looks very different. It depends on the artist drawing her. She looks different.
There is always that, but she has a look.
Like Iron Song Pride, she looks like a Barbie.
Yeah, but remember,
that's a very different look.
It's yes, putting makeup on changes someone's face. Yes. No, the thing.
Yes, it does.
The thing that is. Well, I guess okay. So we're talking about two different things. This is official art from LSS.
Yes.
Versus art by an artist under the guise of a card, right? Like you can give someone a description and say, paint this, make this, and that's how they get their card art.
Right.
But for a poster, don't you think they use internal like things, or do they outsource that too? I don't know.
Yeah,
actually.
I think it's all outsourced. It's from a card. This will be from a card.
Oh, you think it is?
Yes.
The posters are from cards?
A lot of no.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Sometimes they use card art for posters.
Although I will say, now that I just pulled up every card by Dorinthia, and it does kind of look like some of them. Mm-hmm. So maybe it is her. I don't know. Light Dorinthia. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Leave a hashtag.
But now look at Kasai. Look at a picture of Kasai.
It looks nothing like Kasai.
Correct.
And she has Dorinthia has different belts in every picture, so the belt theory is silly.
Look at Kasai's belt.
I know it looks like that. Yes, I agree, but that doesn't mean anything. Actually, it doesn't even look like that.
They're red sashes.
What? That's the dumbest. Oh my god, that's terrible take. That's a terrible take.
A man can dream until proven wrong.
The belt doesn't look anything like it.
A man can dream until proven wrong. Prove me wrong. We don't know.
The armor does look badass, though.
Yeah, it does.
I like the idea of like Dorinthia. Okay, so if I had my way, it would be like Dorinthia because I like the concept. It would be a setup type deck with like kind of like aura type things, kind of like prisms, shields, but swords or something. I don't know. Do something different. Obviously, some sort of other mechanic, and runs around with the angel allies. That would be cool. Oh no, they're all illusionists, aren't they? Shit. All right. Well, all right. She's not getting the angel allies, but I still think it would be cool.
I think it's like Kasai.
It doesn't look like Kasai.
It does.
What?
Well,
are
blonde
you
hair.
Smoking?
It has the blonde hair.
Yeah, different color hair. Kasai doesn't have blonde hair.
Well, it's the power of the light, right?
She doesn't have the tattoos. She doesn't have the leather armor. She doesn't have the swords that look like
the tattoos.
You can see the sword. You can see everything else. It doesn't look anything like Kasai.
The face kind of does. And that's the only part of the body that we're really concerned with here. Because all of it's covered in armor.
Okay, so how does Kasai become a light warrior?
This is the way they introduce Kasai to CC.
You're just saying that because that's what you want.
Yes, and I'm allowed to.
Okay, that's a terrible take. Terrible take.
Why?
Terrible take.
Why is it a terrible take?
Because you're just biasing it based on what you want to see happen, not on what's in front of your face.
I think it is an actual possibility.
Oh,
and when I'm right, I'll be like, hey, remember in episode 66?
I will. I'll eat crow. That's for sure. I will if you are right. If it is a light Kasai, which I don't know how they explain in the story.
I'm going to cut this conversation into a clip and make it a YouTube short.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny. Yeah, where did we last see Kasai? Isn't she out in the desert? It makes no sense in the story.
That's fine. There's a new story coming out.
It's true. I mean, yeah, it could be like everyone goes light or dark. Right. They all turn into like crazy talents.
We get all these, we get all these talents.
I mean, we don't really know what Dusk Till Dawn does. It's possible that, everything.
We get a shadow
nuts.
KO.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like,
bring the young heroes.
There are ways this could theoretically happen. So I can't say it's 100% nonsense, but it's definitely like 90% nonsense. I'm not even sure Kasai would land on the good guy's side.
She's a sellsword.
Yeah, she's kind of a ruthless mercenary. Like, she ain't a soul soldier, that's for sure.
So, yeah, she's no Bolton.
That's what I mean. So why would she end up being a light warrior? Maybe it's just the only way
she ever knew, and now she's provided this chance by the light to redeem herself.
Cool, Shadow Warrior would be cool too.
No.
Anyways, let's move on. We have a topic here, and this is not it.
Limited. So draft went well for you.
It did. I won. It was awesome.
How did you feel drafting, like in the actual draft as we were passing cards around?
I felt really good because both sides handed me good cards. Like multiple times I had multiple good cards in the pack that was handed to me. And I was like, oh, no one seems to be drafting the same thing around me. It was very nice to see that. So that probably was a big part of why it went well.
Right, because you ended up between two Rangers, right?
I don't recall.
No,
well, you weren't a Ranger, were you? Where were you?
No,
you were binging.
Right. No.
Yeah, you were on one side of me, and I don't remember what was played on the other side of me.
Right. So I wasn't taking your assassin cards.
Yeah, you weren't taking my assassin cards.
You passed me a shakedown, which told me everything I needed to know.
I know. I know. You're like, oh, he's not on Azuri. I knew when I passed that, I was like, oh, this is going to be a massive signal.
That was a rainbow foil shakedown, too.
I know. I was really tempted to take it just to take it. But there's another really useful card in there. So, yeah, I ended up on Arachne, and I stayed open for probably about 3 or 4 picks. But then it became very clear because of the passes. I was like, well, all this heat is coming my way. I'm going to grab them while I can. And
Right.
in Arachne, for me, the heat is the attack reactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're
Yeah.
just,
But I don't think you need them.
Oh, you need them. Well,
I know, but
I think that's how you win.
Right, exactly. That's what's able to push you over.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to end up as a subpar attack output. And in a case of like going up against Benji, where you're not going to get to defend, then you're stuck with
you're racing, kind of. Yeah,
yeah, that's real bad. So those over the tops are really useful in a case like that.
I had fun. I was the only ninja in our pod.
I'm trying to think. Was it Riptide? Benji, was that my play? I know it was Riptide for the first fight. Maybe it was Azalea. It was a ranger that was to my left.
Yeah, I played an Azalea. I played an Arachne, and then I played you.
Another Arachne. But yeah, I mean, pulling the cards was great. I got a ton of the attack reactions to the point where there was multiple being handed to me. So that's where I was like, okay, so no one on that side is doing that at least. And I managed to get quite a few of them. And a key card I got was Hurl, which I really like.
Yeah.
And
you closed it out.
For you, yeah, it was key. Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm trying to think what else was in there. There wasn't anything else that was really crazy.
I was like, yeah, I'll go down to 1, forgetting that 1 is not actually 1 in limited. It's so much harder to block, or it's so much harder to like. There are some things you just, if your opponent has it, that you are done.
Yeah, and not only it's like Kadachi lock. You gotta assume you're gonna be, especially against an assassin or a ninja, because they can both do it.
Yeah.
And
and Benji,
also
it's almost daggers. At like 5 because I can throw like 2 2s and 1. I can usually draw that.
And so there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing to be done. Yeah.
Unless you have a prevent. But I guess if you do end up with a couple of the prevent cards, you kind of want to throw that into Benji.
I did. Yeah, I did have them. They didn't show up in time, but I did have them in my deck.
Limited, so just because you put them in your deck doesn't mean they show up.
Yeah, which is, it worked out all the same, but it was one of those things where it's like, every point matters. Let's see. So in the first matchup, it ended up fatiguing out. The guy pulled the legendary trench coat, and so he kind of felt like he had to play Riptide, but didn't put enough attacks in there, I guess. So he didn't have enough juice. And so we got down to the end. He had 2 cards left. I had like 4 cards left. But I just stabbed, and there goes 2 cards. He had to block, right? Yeah. And then I still had more. He's like, all right, this is game. Good game. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Don't let me finish it. Second game was Azalea. That one was really close. I thought I lost, and they had a bad hand is what it sounded like. He didn't tell me exactly, but he's like, I was like, oh, I'm done. Because I was down low again. I had like 1 health. He had like 4. And he had almost a free turn, like where it didn't cost him much to stay on the board. And so it was like his turn to flip the pressure. And what he ended up pulling he wasn't able to get his, dominate big arrow off. So he had to set up. And so that gave me another shot at him. And what ended up happening, and I actually did this intentionally. I did pitch for it because I knew, because the last game was fatigue, I knew I thought I'd see the cards again. I pitched the reaction, the attack reaction, found it, arsenaled it as we're coming to the end, and that was the +3. And then in this last hand, I pulled a second one, which was a +2. And I was able to swing in at him. And I think I swung with the dagger because I had enough resources. And then I swung like isolate. No, I wasn't isolated because it wasn't dominated. He could have overblocked one of the stealth cards. And with cards in hand, he's thinking, I'm going to swing another stealth card because that's usually what happened. Right. But instead, so he blocked once, leaving for the next attack in his hand. And I over the topped him by 5. Which was enough to kill him. Yeah, that was intense. Like I was sweating. That was a sweaty match. I was very sure I was dead because I knew he was a pitch stack capable player.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and he's playing Azalea
Yeah.
and he knows how to set up his combos, and we're at the end. And I was like, his combo's here. Like it's about to happen on my face. And I'm down to 1 and I'm on the back foot, and it like got split. Like he drew half of it, and so he was shot. So that was intense. And then it was Benji, and I knew as soon as I sat down against Benji, especially Tommy Benji, that I had one option and one option only. Forget about pitching.
Yeah.
Forget about stacking. Forget about second round on the deck. None of that's happening. Yeah. Every single point of damage you get, you put it out there, and you put it out there right away, and you try to block as efficiently as you can when you can, which is rare. Yeah. But you got to do it if you can, because you just got to save those life totals. And it worked. And I got you down to
1.
There was a play right before the last play where you could have blocked and you decided not to because you had a combo, but then you miscounted the combo, I think.
Well, yeah. So I included the Threadbare Tunic as the resource, but forgot that it would require me to play that card out of arsenal, not out of hand, because your card has to be empty.
You can't have it in hand.
So I was including that as playing it, and I think because then I would have been able to swing in for 6 after getting you down to low.
I still had 7 at the beginning of that combo chain. I don't know what it would have been.
Yeah, I would have presented lethal a couple times.
Got it.
Through that turn.
Yeah.
Forcing cards out of hand, so you wouldn't have been able to come back with what you did.
No, I would have. I had you the second you didn't.
Oh, because you just needed hurl.
Decided not to block. Yeah, when you took yourself down to 1, and I had hurl, I was like, all I need is a resource. Right. So I can block with everything else I have here. If I just have a resource and hurl, I'm coming at you for 3 and 1 freebie. And unless you have prevention, that's game. So I was pretty confident I had you at that point, but I wasn't 100% sure. And of course, pick enough swings and, my life goes away. But I had a decent life lead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was intense. It was fun. I liked it a lot. Arachne was a good draft. I think Arachne is definitely the easiest draft. I think next time I will probably try Azalea, but we'll see what I get. You never know. Depends on what you pick up. Yeah. I was hearing about a 0 for 7 ninja combo. Like, what?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, so in the first 2 games, I actually got combos to go off pretty easily because I had a lot of Be Like Waters.
Yeah.
And a lot of the blues and yellows, so they would come in and always deal damage because I'm Benji. And then always pump up the combo. Because the first hit, and then because of Benji, it gets +1, and so then it brings better breakpoint for like the gust waves and the surging strikes, and just makes it harder to block. Because if you are blocking, then you're blocking with 2 cards, or it's just I don't know. I really like the way Be Like Water works with Ninja Unlimited. Now I could see it being very difficult. It's one of those things where I think if one person goes Ninja, they're going to end with a pretty good deck. If 2 people go Ninja, I feel like neither of them are going to do well.
Yeah, it gets hard to get the right cards together for it.
But I saw that was open, and I was just like, all right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. And you have experience with Benji, so that's like a comfortable place to play in. I don't really know Benji well enough, and so I'll have to study the Ninja lines a little bit for a draft in the future where I actually want to draft Ninja.
Yeah, Be Like Water is kind of like your bread and butter.
Yeah, it's the default thing.
And there's some good rares. And then you can end up with all the blues and yellows. Just make sure the blues, you're not grabbing too many of the 1-cost blues. Like if you had to choose between 2 blues, get the 0. That's what makes Ninja so bad in sealed. Is like if
all the one cost.
Yeah.
That's not fun. You don't want those.
So that's
and they're even doubly worse for Katsu because you can't target them for combo swap.
Yep.
So yeah. I wonder how Katsu plays. I actually am more familiar with Katsu.
I almost went Katsu and then looked at my pool and I took a couple reds out and I was like, no, we're Benji.
You're like, it's Benji now.
But I don't know. It was fun. I got the combos going off the first 2 games. I went against an Azalea. That went pretty quickly and pretty well. And then the second game was against an Arachne, and that was really close. I actually got to close it out with fisticuffs, which was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys yelling about that. So what happened? You got to talk us through.
He forget exactly how it worked, but I lined up a bunch of things and he got it so that he was exactly blocking, but I had 2 floating. Oh. So I could so I came in with fisticuffs for the 1 because he was a 1. And then there's unless you can prevent it. Which
it's a reaction. I didn't even realize.
Yep.
Oh crap. Yep. That is good.
Gotta be aware of that for all.
Yeah, I heard you. You're like, it's so good. It's such a threat. And da da da. I was like, what are you talking about? What's going on?
You're constantly even with Assassin, you're on hit stuff. If you really need an on hit to go, you can just push it.
Yeah.
And as long as it's out there, your opponent is all right, well, they may just be able to hit anyways, even if I block.
Yeah. So,
and then late game, when you have your opponent down to 1, they have to overblock everything, which basically then just gets you the game.
Yeah. So fisticuff, what other equipment did you have?
I had fisticuff. I had the Mask of Many Faces, I think it's called.
Yeah. What is that? Is that useful in Benji?
Yes, it does. It basically acts like a Be Like Water and allows you to, before you play a card, name it how you want to name it. So it helps even more with curving out your combo lines.
Gotcha.
So if you're 1 thing away, you can make that work. Or it's a Blade Break 1. I used it as a Blade Break 1 3 times.
Gotcha.
Then I had the Threadless Tunic.
Threadbare Tunic. Gotcha.
Which is an incredible card, and I think it is the best card in Limited.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for its usefulness. It is, the limitations are there. It's a Threadbare Tunic, right? But it has an ability to play if you're going to play out of Arsenal frequently, which there are heroes that do that a lot. Right. So it makes total sense. Yeah, I had Toxic Tips, which saved me both in a block and in applying pressure, forcing a block, which allowed me to take momentum back.
Right. And even if you don't have Tunic, in Benji, you can, or in Katsu, you can do your go again, and you usually end with a go again that just gets wasted. If your opponent's at 1, you can pop it, throw a Kodachi, and then that pulls another card out of their hand.
Yep. And the other one was the Seeker's Hood that prevent 1 saved me.
I
think twice. I don't think I ended up using it against you, did I?
Yes, you did early.
Did I? Okay, yeah, because you just want to get the value out of it.
Yeah.
Don't want to lose it. And you just keep poking.
Yeah. I don't know. It's very fun, and I can see myself, unless something gets super broken. Now, we did realize, I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but that sneak attack card, you can play the attack reaction after.
Yeah, explain that. Did we get an official ruling on this?
Yeah, so the official ruling is, it does say played an attack reaction, this chain link. So when we played the sealed event, we were thinking that it required you, because it is in the past tense, it required you to play the attack reaction like in Azuri. You use Azuri's attack reaction to play sneak attack. So you had played an attack reaction.
Yeah. So I think this is kind of obvious because the text on a card, doesn't it typically activate or get checked upon resolution?
Right.
Which would be after reactions are done too, right?
Right.
So yeah, that does kind of make sense. That's how I read it when we were talking about it at the shop, but we were told otherwise because of the played. And I wonder if this is one of the ones they kind of eroded the text, because I know they tweaked text on a few cards because they used a slightly off tense than what they use by standard.
Right.
And so I saw in the Fab release notes, there was, I don't know if this was one of them, but there was another one where it was played and they changed it to play.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, this is just a little bit confusing. It makes sense, but it isn't our standard nomenclature. So we're calling this an errata. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But so in that, after the second game against the Arachne that I won, we ran it back and he fisticuffed a sneak attack, which then jumped it by 5.
Because it was a red.
Because it was a red, yeah.
So it was +5. That's crazy.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So anytime you play
wait, how does that even work? I got to think this through. So you can just play it off the front as an Arachne. It's not a stealth card, so it's your end shot.
You play a stealth. You play a sneak attack.
Yeah. So you're playing 2. It's a 3-card hand at this point. No, it's a 4-card hand because you need the reaction. So you're using your whole hand to come in for, was it 7, 8? Plus whatever, plus 3 for the stealth card, assuming it's a red. It might not be.
But threatening an on-hit.
What's on hit? Stealth cards don't really have on hit. Well, some of them do.
Some of them do.
Yeah. I got all the bad ones. He got all the good ones. I had all the ones that do like nothing. Like this can't be prevented, and this can't be
dominate.
I only got one of the dominates in the whole freaking deck. I was so annoyed, but I didn't really need them. They were really just combo starters. You know what I mean?
Right,
and pitch fodder and block fodder, because boy, do they block well.
Block 3s.
Yeah, I like Assassin. I am having fun.
It's fun when most of your cards block 3, right?
I mean, I've played Turtle Heroes the whole time. It just wasn't viable historically.
Yeah.
Well, except Guardian, which I always hate for some reason. I cannot figure out how to play them. Just terrible at them.
Patience and pitch stacking.
I don't have patience. Pitch stacking, I'm becoming good at. Actually, that's one of the things I've kind of leveled up on. Is like thinking through the whole game and playing the whole game every turn, if that makes sense. Because you realize that the only way to win is at that last set of gambits having the overpower ability, and so
setting yourself up for it.
So if you burn all your juice in the beginning, your reactions are all gone, then you're dead at the end. It's not a coincidence you're dead. Like, so don't, like there's definitely different ways to think about it for different heroes and how they change tempo, but that was the thing that I definitely played this time and I thought about for every game. I mean, when we sat down, I was like, nope, not pitch stack at this time. I think I even just said it out loud. I was like, it's all gas. This is all we got.
Yeah. And we're drafting every week this month, which is super exciting.
No, that's not true. Nope. Last week is Commoner.
Oh, right. But it's a long month? There's 5 Thursdays?
That could be. I don't know.
No.
Only 4. It's just we got to draft this before this month started.
Right. Oh, right.
So it will be 4 in a row. Yeah. Okay. So it does. It is a month of drafting, just not a single month.
No.
So I'm excited. I'm totally in. Yeah. I love draft. Everyone else does not like draft as much, but I love draft.
Yeah. I mean, so like this is like I got invited to go draft with some friends and I really want to do that. Like, I want to draft this. Like, I would love to get together with friends and just draft this. I haven't felt about that way about a set since we would get together and draft WTR. Which,
when was that?
That was like, for us, that was around like Tails.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, we didn't do that. When did we do that? We didn't, yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like there's so many cool different ways to build things, and it doesn't seem like there's this one force this you win kind of thing.
Agreed. Yeah, there's enough cards in different directions that you can make different strategies workable.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
it'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
I feel offended after I beat their butts. They're drafting behind my back so they can level up and face me next week. Is that what's happening?
It's not the usual group.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is this nonsense?
No.
Pretty funny though.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Anything else you want to talk about with the limited?
No, I think we're good. It was a good week.
Anything in the market you want to talk about?
There is one thing. If you watch Rudy stuff, you've already heard it. Collector boxes are going bananas.
Oh, we're switching Magic. Okay.
Yeah, just real quick because
Yeah.
it is a thing and it's pretty dramatic, actually.
I thought you were going to talk about Flesh and Blood boxes because they're getting dramatic.
They are, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out. I know Rudy did a video, so most people probably already know about it. But yeah, it is a thing. It seems like they're short printing collector boxes going forward. So everything past Brothers War apparently just jumped like overnight quite a bit. So that is a thing. That is a thing. What did you want to say about Flesh and Blood market?
Oh no, I was just stuff that we've been talking about in the Discord.
Yeah, I mean, I do that every week, so I'll leave that for that day.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because I hope our order went through.
Which no. Not yet.
Phyrexia didn't jump.
No, Phyrexia didn't, but that's because it's still in mass supply right now. Like it's still at discount at distro.
Yeah.
But all the other ones did. Dominaria Remastered, all these other things, they all jumped.
Isn't that the only other set that's since Brothers War?
Well, it's not the only other one that jumped. I'll put it that way.
Okay, yeah.
And actually, Phyrexia did jump because it was like 215, 210 before. It was sinking down. It was doing the we just released downward trend. And
it was down for like a day, it looks like.
Well, I looked at it a few days ago when before I left. This is the first time I've gotten back and looked at it. I've been gone all weekend. All right, give me a break.
It's been in the 220s since like halfway through March.
Go look at Strixhaven. Go look at all the different charts.
That is not the time period that you were talking about. So I was getting confused.
Well, it's all no. The news is it's short printed after that. Everything has started to jump up as a result of it.
Okay. Yeah, Kaldheim jumped. That's up to 174.
It looks like a ton of boxes have been sold too.
I have such a Kaldheim holds such a special place in my heart. That's what started all of this. That was the set that started all of this. Like we remember, it was like the first set we were excited about getting into cards.
It's true because I remember like studying the cards for Strixhaven, and I went to a draft for Strixhaven. It was my first time back in a store to play Magic or any card game in like decades, you know. And I was like, oh, it's so intense, and I was so good because I did all the study, and no one there had even looked at the cards. They're like, whatever, and then I just went in there and like swept the freaking draft, and they were like, who is this freaking dude? I did not do well after that, but that time I did very well. Yeah, it's fun. I like drafting. It is definitely my favorite. I'll get better at CC though. I think I have a better take on how to play CC, and so I think I'll have more fun with CC.
Yes.
I also like Azuri and her ability, even though I don't think she's going to be a powerhouse overall. I don't think I can make her a powerhouse, put it that way. Surely people out there can that are very smart at this game. But I don't care if she's not top. You know what I mean? Because she's fun to play. Like, I like those surprise moves.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's how I feel about Dorinthia.
Yeah.
Even though she is the top of the meta.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Did you see Bagel's new Azuri video?
Nah, I haven't seen anything. I've been gone.
Okay. There's a red line deck tech.
Is it the red line that won the freaking thing? Because that's the one that's been talked about forever. Yeah, that's nothing new.
As it being like the Ranger counter.
Oh, interesting. Why is that? Did he give a reasoning for that thought process?
I just watched the beginning of it, and then I was like, "Wait, what am I?" Oh, I was doing that work stuff yesterday. I got distracted. I'm only about halfway through the video.
Gotcha.
But it was interesting. It was fun to watch.
Cool. Yeah, the red line is pretty sweet, I will say. Mine is a modified version, different than that, I would say.
There's also a Blitz deck that I'm interested in. What?
I just don't care about Blitz at all.
John, we're entering into skirmish season. Now is the
I
time to care.
know. I just don't. I'm trying to get my head around CC. If I try to do Blitz, I'm not going to be able to do either at all.
Why?
Because that's just how my brain works. I need to focus on one thing.
Okay.
That's just me.
But then you get bored of it and move on to it.
Well, then I can move on to Blitz, and
Okay.
it won't be
Right.
skirmish season anymore, but it will be fine. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, who cares? I'm not here for the competitive scene.
The new Arachne, the solitary confinement one, in a Cheerios build with the stealth and go again and
that makes sense. Yeah. That's probably like easy mode, huh?
Yeah, that's probably it's pretty gross.
Yeah, because of like basically what I did in limited, like if you optimized explicitly around that, yeah, you could be gross, all isolates and then all the reacts, like forget about it. And then they go against your Ravenous Ravels, whatever.
Yeah.
E-Strike.
Absolutely.
Death Touch. What else would you want in there? Does he do contract stuff? Does he Cheerios and leave no witnesses and stuff like that?
Yeah, leave no witnesses is in it,
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I mean that would be a fun deck.
But then
maybe I care. Maybe I'll play that.
You have Black Tech Whispers.
For your Gogan.
Yeah, Sin did a video on it. Sin on screen.
Cool. Well, now we're just talking about other people's content.
We're talking about decks and games that we're interested in playing.
It's true. That's true.
I like highlighting other people, what they do. They do cool stuff.
They do.
Also, was there anything else you wanted to talk about with the collector boxes before I just told you that no? Because I don't really see much. Besides, like, some of the older ones going away. Or being more limited.
What are you talking about?
The collector boxes.
What about?
I never got like what you were actually trying to talk about with that.
The prices have jumped up 10 to 15% on all well, not all, but a bunch of collector boxes.
Okay.
I look at this pretty regularly. They are higher than they were when I left.
Okay.
Like I look at it like pretty much every other day.
I was surprised to see Crimson Vow back up at like 135.
That's what I mean. Like a bunch of stuff jumped up after this. Now, is it all just hype? Probably. Is it partially because collectors are feeling more confident because they cut the freaking print runs for the future ones? That's probably part of it too. It's just like when confidence came back in Flesh and Blood.
Right. It affected the whole market.
Yeah. It changed, like your freaking rainbow foils from WTR started to disappear, right? Like, I mean, that's what happens. I think what's happening is they're restoring investor collector confidence. I could be wrong. And it is also coming from Rudy, who's hype man extraordinaire. So take it with a massive grain of salt because it may be wrong. And there may be another wave of Phyrexia about to dump on the market.
Well, yeah, it was on sale and distribution.
Yeah, but he's saying, well, yeah, you haven't looked at the list. They're stupid expensive.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like one of them is selling it for what looks like 3 or 4 times what the other one is, and the other one you can only buy 3 cases at a time.
Gotcha.
So it's like it is limited. So it does seem to be quite limited at this point. But in the past, what's happened is another wave came out, and Rudy's saying that's not happening this time. I don't know. I will wait till see. Yeah, wait to see. But yeah.
Because I have my $85 Innistrad Crimson Vow box.
Your Amazon dump one?
My Amazon dump one.
Nice. What is it going for now?
135.
130? Oh, that's not bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's been around that price for a while, though, I think. Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Which is funny. I was looking at it. I was like, is it worth it to crack?
Yeah, I often find myself itching to crack a box of collector, and then I'm just like, this is such a bad idea. Why would I do that?
But now that we have the TCG player story, I was just thinking about getting stuff up.
The singles to put up. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I just don't know how well they sell. That's one of those things that we haven't explored.
Well, I mean, our Magic sells very well.
Yeah, but you know how much chaff is in a collector's box?
Right. Yes.
It's like fancy art, but also worth 2 cents.
Yes.
And you're just like, I hate this box. It makes me every time I've opened them, except for the one they sent me for free, I've been like, why did I do this?
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
like some of the most expensive cards in the box are like $15.
Yeah. I don't find them worth it to crack.
But they'd all be foil, and the foils are like then $25.
It's true. You get a lot more foils. There's some guaranteed hits that are going to be like $5 whatever hits, lands, and things like that. So I mean, it may make sense. I don't know. I just know it always felt bad when I did it. But I'm also a sealed collector. I don't like cracking boxes. When I do, I feel bad almost every time. So it's a little bit of a personal bias, not a mathematic fact. You know?
Right. No. Sure.
So
and it's different when the price point's $85.
That's a good point, actually. That's a very good point. It's not hard to get over that number.
$85 with the single out of this video.
Yeah, probably. That's a good point. Fair enough.
And I was looking, I don't know. I like the art of the set. I like the whole Dark Vampire wedding.
Yeah, they do have some cool cards. There's Dracula cards and stuff.
Yeah, and they actually, I think they have the box topper too.
A lot of them do. A lot of them were crap for a while. I'm not sure if that set was one of them.
This one was pretty cool. It had like these special art, full art vampire nonsense.
Nice.
But like the art, I think were exclusive to the box topper, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I do think there's more sales than normal. Now that's might just be TCG Player because they had that sale over the weekend.
That could also definitely be it. Like
that could be part of what's happening with the prices.
Just a bunch of people bought it and then people haven't put it back up in stock.
Yeah, that might be what it is.
So that drove out.
But even looking at if you look at all the charts, I know the charts aren't the most reliable thing, but if you just click through them and look at the charts, almost all of them are like seeing a rise over the last month.
Sure. But I mean, some of them are like 2020 products, like Kaldheim and Strixhaven. They've been around.
Yeah, but they were always dead products historically. That's what I mean. In fact, Kaldheim is flat. If you look at the chart, it's falling down. It's not going up.
Right. But it was like 140 for a while. For the longest time. I remember I got mine at like 130, 140.
Yeah, I don't know. Something is happening in the Magic market. A lot of stuff is moving up over the past few weeks, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, Magic, it's not going to go anywhere. It's around.
Never does. Always comes back. Oh, you know what else it is? Or might be. I'm not sure. Freaking Mom. Have you seen the cards, the previews?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're blowing up every plane. So every monster, there's like a Phyrexian version of it. Every big critter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine a lot of those big Phyrexian versions probably go well in commander decks that can also play the normal version from that plane.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got a commander deck, you might as well get a sparkly, fancy collector version of that, critter, right?
Sure.
That might actually be it. I haven't looked at the singles. Maybe the singles are pulling up the prices.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those commander players are also the same people that are like proxies.
No. Well, no. I mean,
a lot of commander players.
I know for a fact a lot of commander players buy collector versions of the cards for their decks. So I don't know how many globally, but I know several. So I know it's a thing that happens, and I imagine this isn't the only group that does it because a lot of the more serious commander players, the ones that have the $400 lands in their deck, like they don't mind dropping $40, $50 for a fancier version of the card they want in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
so
have you seen my Dorinthia deck?
Exactly. Yeah. We'll see. I think Magic's entering a new era. Obviously, it's blowing up all the planes.
Yeah, I think it's trying to do a big reset after Mom.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see what comes of that and how that looks. Oh, and the new cards, the battlefields, I guess, the battlefields or whatnot.
Yeah,
they feel pretty specifically aligned to commander play.
Yeah, because everything that Magic makes is geared towards commander now.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with that if that's true. Like, that's my favorite way to play. That's what I do most of the time.
It is the most popular way to play, but I think that is starting to get some pushback.
Why? No one likes standard.
Well, I think there's command. Then it explains the Commander Master's pricing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. That will be an interesting thing. Anyways, we've talked about this too much.
Then what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Are we done?
No.
What else do we have?
We have 10 minutes left.
We have a timer? I didn't know we had a timer.
No, I just like to make it go around an hour.
Okay. I don't know what else is happening in the space of Flesh and Blood. That's not the market, because we'll have a separate video on that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I'm excited for Baltimore.
Yes, I am ready for that. I get to draft.
Yeah,
the whole time,
all day.
It's gonna be good.
I'll join you for one. I think my package comes with one.
Yeah, one of the tokens or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. That should be fun.
Yeah, I will definitely be drafting the entire time. I'm hyped for that. And I get the playmat. Is that what came with that? A playmat?
Yeah, the Crown of Providence.
Oh, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pro Tour will be fun.
You're playing in the calling, right?
Yes. I did not qualify for. I did not win any.
And then how far are you gonna get in the calling with Dorinthia?
Not far.
I thought she was at the top of the meta.
She is, but that is with a very good pilot.
Oh, I see. Okay,
no, okay. I'm just kidding. She's not. But I don't know. I watched a tier list video the TCG guys did yesterday, and they put her like at the top of B, which I agree with.
Yeah.
There are decks in A and S that Dorinthia definitely has a more favorable matchup into than most heroes, which does give me a lot of hope. Like both Lexi and Azalea were in A and S, and Dorinthia does very well against Ranger traditionally.
Yeah. And in a big tournament, a lot of those people will not have reps against Dorinthia because she's not meta.
Correct.
Yeah. So you might be able to surprise your way quite a bit.
Yeah. And I'll know early on in the game that they don't know how to play against Dorinthia because it's how they block the first couple of turns.
You're like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to wreck your face.
Right. And so I will know very early in the game, which will be fun. And
so if you run into Tommy in the rankings, make sure to fake him out on the first few blocks.
Sure. But I mean, if you fake me out, then you've kind of lost the game because I have enough counters now.
You can get rid of counters pretty easily, can't you? If you know how to block, if you actually know how to block.
As a ranger?
Oh, as a ranger.
As a ranger with all those 2 blocks, and once I get to a point, even if you throw
wait, doesn't Azalea have a whole suite of new 3 blocks?
Yeah.
So I think that's why she's good now, because she isn't just a 2-block chump anymore.
Right, but so
I could be wrong. I don't know her very well at all.
No, but like if it's not that they require more cards to play their turn, if that makes sense. So like if they block with 2 cards, it cripples them way more because they're not pumping the arrows anymore now. And then I throw a 3 block and then go and attack twice again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. You haven't played New Azalea, so I think you might be underestimating. Because she seems pretty good.
New Azalea, I honestly think it's just going to kind of be a race. Because I'm not going to be able to... There's just going to be the dominated arrows that I'm not going to be able to block. But then to set those up every turn, they're not blocking. So are they able to output more damage than me? And I don't think so. Because I have the...
Not with your counters going, yeah. No.
Yeah, right. Because my counters are just going to keep going up every turn. I'm going to pump them up. I get the Iron Song Prides. I get them up even faster. I have a turn where I can just say no to your dominate with all my armor, and Ranger doesn't have that. So if there's like one really bad arrow, I can just throw all my armor at it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
one of
then-
those like Red and Ledger or whatever terrible things they do.
Right. And so then you just, because then that I have 7 block from my equipment. And then throw 1 card down, then I'm at 10.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm looking through Azalea decks right now just to see kind of what's out there. And it does seem like the block is low. Like,
Yeah.
It is still low from what I'm looking at here. It's like 2.4.
Well,
I mean, it's better
why-
than it was, but it's definitely still low.
That's why I'm thinking it's a race, because they're not going to block.
No, you're right. I just wasn't sure if I haven't looked at Ranger closely at all, so I was wondering how real that thought process is versus the new arrows and everything that's going on.
Right. And
But
Lexi's
it looks like they're not using most of the new arrows, so
no, but I think Lexi is honestly still going to be the better one, or at least will be harder for Dorinthia to deal with, because she can go wider and has more on hits and can just has ways to actually pull cards out of my hand during the race. Because it's a similar race, because they're not blocking, but they have there are a couple of really good Lexis that we play against, and they have had turns where I just had all 4 cards ripped out of my hand. Not from blocking, but just because if I didn't block, they would have been ripped out anyways, and then I just would have taken damage.
Right. The ultimate gambit.
Yeah. So
I win or you lose.
right. But I don't know. I think it'll be really fun. I'm looking forward. That's the only downside to drafting 4 weeks in a row, is I was kind of hoping to get more practice before Baltimore, but I guess that will be Talishar.
So I was gonna say, it's almost like you just have to message someone in Discord and get reps in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can take on my Azuri deck if you want.
Sure. Yeah.
You have to do that.
I need to learn that.
I just want to. I want to practice Azuri anyways, and you'll definitely see Azuri.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna
So
be
I
a
do
popular
need reps
one.
against that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anything else before we wrap this up?
Has our timer run out? Hashtag
No.
The timer has dinged.
We have like 2.5 minutes left. But
Oh my God, I can't believe you measured that close. I had no idea you were that specific about it.
No, I'm not. But I can actually see the recording.
Yeah. You know exactly where it is. That's so funny.
Yeah. What? I like to provide an hour of content.
It's a good hour. Everyone loves your hour.
Yeah.
Everyone loves it.
It used to be over an hour.
Really?
Yeah. We used to just ramble for like.
I mean, we definitely rambled on in this one. If you're still listening, you're a champion of Tommy's top picks. Give us a hashtag
TTP
champion. Yeah, TTP champion. I love it. That means you listen all the way. And we apologize for our rambling content.
No.
We love you. We appreciate you.
That's what podcasts are for.
I just feel like most people don't make it to the end. So, you can say just all this stuff.
According to the analytics, more people do than you probably think.
Okay, if you say so. I believe you. I don't know.
Until next week, we will catch you guys later.
Have a good one.